Hello, good evening, everybody, and welcome to our live panel talk about postgraduate opportunities in healthcare and social care. My name is Cleo Devaney, and I am one of the marketing managers at ATU, and I will be your panel host this evening. And joining me this evening on this talk, we have two experts from across ATU who are going to talk to you about this topic of postgraduate study opportunities. So firstly, we have Dr Leonard Taylor, who is a lecturer in social sciences at ATU Sligo. Hi Leonard, how are you?
Hi Cleo, and hello everyone.
And then we also have Dr Carmel Heaney, who is a lecturer in health sciences and is based in our ATU Mayo campus. Hello Carmel, how are you?
Hello Cleo, and hello everybody.
So now that we've met everybody, just a couple of things to mention before we get started on the talk. While this talk is ongoing, we have a live Q&A happening. So there's a little panel box there where people can put in questions. And if you have any questions for the panel, we have a team of people who are able to answer them as we're talking. So please do feel free to put in a question there if you have one. This talk will be recorded and it will also be available to watch back on the ATU YouTube channel. So for now, you can sit back, relax and enjoy the talk, and it should last approximately 20 minutes. So I'm going to start by talking to Leonard. Leonard, you are the programme chair for the Masters in Social Care and Social Justice, which I know is also available as a postgraduate diploma. So we're going to just talk a little bit about that programme, give an overview of it, and maybe, you know, who's it suitable for.
Great. Okay, thanks, Cleo. The Masters in Social Care and Social Justice, the student will start out with a postgraduate diploma. The application is first to a postgraduate diploma, and then on the completion of about 3 semesters, in their final semester, they can apply for the Masters by dissertation. So it's a very interesting program. It combines 2 subject areas. First is social care, so the practice of social care, which it can include the voluntary sector and the charity sector and the social care professions that we're very familiar with. It could be disability services, homeless services, and so on. We'll talk about that later maybe, but it's a whole array of different social services that are available in society. And so we look at that from the perspective of social justice. So the idea is to look at this very broad field and the very many careers that are there currently, and then apply principles and insights from the idea of social justice. So ideas like what might we do for the betterment of society, what's fair in society, what's equality in society, and how can we, as practitioners within the social care field or people in positions of leadership, how can they take a lead in those areas? So it brings a lot of different interacting skill sets into the mix, and also then insights from the various professions around social care and social justice. So it is a challenging program. We enjoy teaching it, and we're always keen and very interested in meeting students who come from those areas in particular.
Yeah, I think that's a great thing to highlight, the variety of people from different backgrounds that actually, you know, take the course on, because that adds to the richness of the course as well, isn't it? Like, you know, the amount of discussion and interaction you have with people from lots of different perspectives and life experience.
Yeah, we're very keen to. Yeah, we're very keen to see students coming from. Principally the main catchment or the main applicant for our programs have traditionally come from homeless services, from disability services, from acquired brain injury services, anything that you can see where there's an applied social care dimension. And so they get a great opportunity then to come out of practice a little bit because it's an online program. Many applicants kind of mix their employment and study together. So it gives them a chance to, while they're in practice, while they're with their organisation as it stands, to do some reflection and study and get a deeper appreciation of the work that they're doing. And hopefully then we're generally we're quite ambitious with the students to advance in their career, taking on more senior roles of more seniority, or else get involved in areas of advocacy, for instance, or some areas of research. So there's a mixture of outcomes that we kind of focus on as well. So it's kind of bringing in that mix and looking at it through various lenses to help enhance their both their careers and both their insight into their profession.
That's great. And like typically, what are you looking for? Is it an honours degree at level 8 in any discipline, or can it be does it have to be from a specific discipline area?
In general, we're keen to have, well, the standard application would be an applicant coming from with an undergraduate degree in social care or related field. A social care practice degree, for instance, would be the typical undergraduate degree. Would be a level 8 degree, and then a 2-2 degree is the minimum standard for the applicant. And then what we look for as well is some practice, some experience within the discipline as well. So if you've been working in, say, for instance, homeless services or disability services, or prison services, or related fields like that, then that would be the kind of the normal applicant. But we have had applications from people coming from law backgrounds, from financial services, and they have been, for instance, working in this area, and they want to upskill themselves so they can move on in the career within the profession. What I would highlight is that some applicants have applied with the expectation that it's a CURU registered program, and this is one of the things that is important to distinguish for applicants, where our own undergraduate degree program in social care practice is CURU registered. It's a professional registration with the professional body. This master's won't be, because our focus is not on CURU registration. It's more on academic study of the field itself. So that's where we're kind of focused on that. So just to clarify, just in case anyone thinking about that, that they understand the distinction that we're making in this program.
Very good. Yeah, no, that's good to highlight. Maybe you might just talk to us about maybe 1 or 2 modules that people study, as part of the course, if there's any one that you want to focus in on. Or
yeah, so in the degree program, then we cover a range of modules that focus on the whole round of the social care profession. So we're concerned with social care and social justice, for instance, is a module that looks at theoretical applications. So we're looking at social care, social justice theory, and then seeing how that applies into the student's practice. Intersectional studies, so looking at the intersection of people's lives, so the diverse backgrounds that people may have, and how the social care professions can respond to their needs. Social transformation is a very interesting one. It looks at the types of how social change happens within society, and then how a person in the social care profession can contribute to that. We have modules on management and leadership, so which facilitates the student then to look at how in taking all this knowledge and how would I apply it within my profession, looking at professional standards within their organisation. So one of the things that we identify within the social care profession is it's a very changing environment. It's very often very dependent on statutory support, and then the skills that people within the social care profession need for putting grant applications, navigating the whole funding dimension of the social care sector is quite challenging. So we help and we support students studying that to facilitate their progress in that area as well. So that's part of it. Some of the modules that we cover, and then the final piece then is the major piece is the dissertation, where a student will have one-to-one supervision with one of the lecturers while they undertake an in-depth study of their of the social care sector, which is usually very interesting. And during the entire 2 years of the degree program, the master's program, it allows students, and often students kind of gather all these resources. They come to the master's dimension of it with all these various resources that are drawn out from the program, the modules of the program, and they kind of identify a particular area that they want to study in depth, and that's what they undertake then in the dissertation in the final semester.
Great. No,
So,
that's great. And I know you've given a good overview there of all the different options that people have. And I know on the website, the ATU Sligo website, and there's a number of student testimonials, I think, from the course as well, from some interesting graduates who've come from different backgrounds and who've used the master's program to leverage that to build on their career and actually progress in the area.
Yeah, I think that, yeah, so we've had people, it's been quite fascinating, really, the students that apply. Many people are, I'd say quite a majority of applicants are in their careers already. So there could be a speech therapist, a social worker, working in education, community development, early years education, travellers organisations, homeschool liaison. It can be very diverse, and they want to have that mixture of being at work and also then the online program kind of supplementing and enriching that experience. So, and we do very much focus on trying to help the students integrate those two things together. So the academic knowledge and their actual careers. And then students then, so for instance, if there's a student an applicant coming from acquired brain injury support services, then they might want to do the dissertation on that specifically to try and develop that as well as they can. So that's kind of becomes a key way for them to develop their both their career and their knowledge within their own sector.
Great. No, look at that. I'm going to have to finish up there with yourself, Leonard, because I know we could keep talking, and there's lots more of information on the programme webpage as well about the study options and some examples of past graduates as well. So thank you very much for giving an overview of that. It's a fascinating course, and I know that there's a real lively cohort together that, you know, keep you challenged as well in terms of delivering it. So now we'll turn our attention to Carmel. Carmel, you've been patiently waiting there, so thank you very much. So you are the programme chair for the Masters in Quality and Safety in Healthcare and Social Care. I think there's kind of two strands options there.
That's right.
So look, it's great to get an opportunity to chat to you. And again, this is just kind of giving people a broad overview of maybe, you know, again, across ATU, we have undergraduate studies in social care practice and in the areas of social care. So this is, again, demonstrating to our existing cohort, you know, there are progression opportunities in terms of postgraduate and further studies. So maybe, Carmel, if you could talk to us a little bit about the programme that you coordinate and that you lecture on, and give us a flavour for what students can expect.
Lovely. Thank you for the opportunity, Cleo. So this suite of programme offerings comprises, there's a postgraduate diploma in quality and safety in healthcare/social care, and that's a one-year programme of 6 modules. There's an extension of that programme, which is a strand for a Master of Science in Health and Safety in Social Care, or a Master of Science in Health Equality and Safety in Healthcare. I've mixed my language up a little bit there. But there are 3 options when a candidate or a prospective student goes to apply. If a student does a postgraduate diploma initially, they can at a later stage seek to extend that and do the full Masters. And likewise, if a student elected to do a Masters and just found the commitment a little bit heavy, there's an option to exit with the postgraduate diploma. So there are a few options there to fit the needs of the student. The programme itself is, I suppose, it's coming from a space that it is well recognised in Ireland over the last few decades that we need to take a stronger, better approach to putting patient safety and person safety central to our systems. And we've seen many unfortunate reports being launched in the media over the last decade and still coming of where our systems have failed the people they serve. So the module design is, and the programme design itself is coming from that place of how can we do better to create safer systems and a safer patient or client culture, safer space to care for people. It's cross-disciplinary in its approach. So quite like what Leonard was saying, we're seeking and we are getting students from different sectoral areas. And this is very important because we have healthcare and we have social care, but we are shifting care much more towards the community in care of the lifespan, the aging population. And the two cultures of health and social care are coming together in the community to take on these new roles and new challenges. So it's quite rich to bring these groups from different undergraduate perspectives into the classroom together for dialogue, critiquing the systems they're working in, and taking a problem-solving approach to that. So I suppose to speak to where our students come from, we're in our 5th iteration of these programs. So they're coming from regulatory bodies, they're coming from acute hospitals, community care, NGOs, public sector, private sector. So it's a very diverse student group discussing the one topic from different perspectives. And I suppose both, the different sectors are actually at different stages in implementing safer approaches to how they go about their business. This is done in the context of, I suppose, the strategic documents that are out there that have been put forward by government over the last few years. So the HSE Patient Safety Strategy that we're working in now, 2019 to 24, the Patient Safety Bill, the National Open Disclosure Policy and Guideline Framework. So we've a lot of, I suppose, important context to consider patient safety and person safety and client safety within. So the programme is around that. We have 6 modules in stage 1. That's if the postgraduate diploma are I suppose the bedrock before one proceeds to the Master of Science. And they pick up on the themes I've mentioned. So they're governance and compliance for quality, they're safer systems where we look at big national and international case studies and where the points of failure have been detected. We've quality and innovation is a 3rd module, and there we look at, I suppose, a structured or methodological approach to quality improvement in our organisations. Then we look at person safety and the idea of the person at the centre of the area we're working in. And the 5th module is around critical thinking and decision making. So it's very reflective module at how decisions are made in our society, in our organisations and by ourselves, and what's the process around that and the rationale we draw from. And the 6th module is applied research, and I say applied as opposed to the theory around research. It's taking real world problems as the students see them in their environment, or questions, it doesn't have to be a problem, maybe a question, and looking at how we design a structured proposal or a quality improvement method to address that and to ask those questions in a structured way and improve our practice-based situation. That's year 1. If the student elects to go on to year 2 and complete the MSc, that research module, it culminates in designing a research proposal. So ideally, it's that proposal that's taken forward, and then you spend the next academic year exercising that proposal and writing it up for your dissertation. And like Leonard's programme, it's a one-to-one supervision model with that.
Yeah, so that's a fantastic overview there. Thank you, Carmel. And I do think there's a couple of things you picked up on there. The diversity of the student group, that must add to the richness, I'm sure, of the programme. When you've people coming in, they're maybe in a certain sector or they've certain experience, they bring that into the classroom with them. So I think that's a good thing to highlight, isn't it?
It's really powerful. Yeah, and the reality, wherever we're working in, we're depending on partnerships and systems to work with us, especially for the person in the community. It shouldn't be a linear one lens model. So at level 9, to bring people with different perspectives and experience, and we have students that may have 1 to 5 years experience in the workplace. We may have students with 20 years. And it's very interesting to see the conversations evolve. Sometimes the person in newly is less confident when they see all this experience around them, but sometimes they have a very fresh view on what's going on, and it's to tickle that dialogue up and I suppose have those conversations in the space of the classroom or sometimes online, and get the critical thinking going that we want to see nurtured and developed at level 9 and bring that back to the workplace.
And one other thing you mentioned there as well, obviously the environment that everybody's working on in is changing so much. So, again, like keeping people up to date and, on all the new thinking, new legislation, I'm sure that is a challenge for the workplace at the moment, so this is an outlet, I suppose, that helps to support those kind of...
It's a huge challenge, and we see in health and social care, there's an unprecedented staff mobility happening. People are changing, new opportunities are coming up in this area. New centres of quality are being birthed in all the different organisations. So people are moving, and they're moving from some very traditional fixed infrastructure, organisational infrastructure, to really green land on that, and bringing knowledge with them, but also being presented with opportunity to start better. And I suppose that's the richness of all of this.
It's fascinating. Just in terms of somebody maybe coming in at this fresh, and maybe they haven't studied in a while, or they're what does it look like in terms of the time commitment needed? Are they able to balance? Do they have to continue? Can they continue working?
Yeah.
Do they need to travel to your campus? What's the...
Sure, it's really important. It's designed, what we call on the academic side, as a blended program. What that means in the real world is we are bringing the students in 18 days across the year. So that we've semester 1 and semester 2. I'll start by saying I would say 96% plus of our students so far are in full or part-time employment. Okay. So we're being as flexible in our design as we can. So in semester 1, there are 4 2-day sessions. So they come onto the Mayo campus for a Thursday afternoon from 2 to 6 and a Friday all day. And embedded in the fee is the overnight stay at a hotel adjacent to our campus. And that, I suppose, is important. Even sometimes students aren't living that far away, but they get opportunity to immerse and to develop professional networks, which is a really important aspect of postgraduate learning. So they can come onto campus, use the library, immerse in the thinking around their programme of study, and then they go off for every 3 to 4 weeks. These 2-day cycles happen. And we give that schedule up front. Even now, that's available for students to plan with their employer and make their decisions around study leave, or I suppose family, flexibility around family and support needed. So 4 by 2 days semester 1, where 3 modules are done and completed by December/January. And then we go with the next 3 modules, 4 by 2 day sessions, again at 3 or 4 weekly intervals. We have an induction on the 22nd of September. That's an online induction, so we don't seek to bring the person onto site for that. We try to be as minimal with that. And then some of our modules, online material is put up between the residentials, and some of our modules do online Ask Me Anything clinic. So, for example, I lead the applied research module, and typically on a Monday night every 2 weeks, I will do a 1-hour session for anyone to pop in. And we do it late enough that people can get home, get fed. If there's children or people to care for, that's all sorted. And then we have our little online conversation and keep things moving. And we can do a lunchtime session if someone can't make the night. So we're very aware the cohort of students we're seeking are very busy people, and we're trying to design and be flexible around them.
Yeah. No, that's lovely to hear. And again, I know that people have those kind of very practical questions before they, they want to embark on this, but can they fit it into their lifestyle and all the other commitments they have around them? And you mentioned there, just again, as you said, about 96% of people are in the workplace. If we look at the research, if they are going on to do the masters, would you find typically that people are, they're driven by maybe their place of work, that they can use, that as part of their research? Can they incorporate it into their work? It's not maybe mandatory, I know, but what do you typically find?
So our I suppose our position is, where at all possible, use your workplace and the issues you're arising as part of your assessment, where that's appropriate, of course. So we expect in the main, where a student can, for example, their research is an active project in the workplace that's brought back to the workplace, disseminated back there from an ethical point of view, from a betterment point of view, to improve practice in the workplace. So we encourage the students to have dialogue very early on with their line managers or their funders. Often the workplace may be actually funding the masters. Have a conversation. What do you expect me to get and bring back out of this program? How can you support me to do this? Are there priority projects that I could look at? And we get those conversations, or encourage them as much as we can from the outset, so the students feel very supported and they're not doing a course parallel to work, that it's meaningful to work, and where that works, it's great, but it's not possible for every student.
I know what you mean. Yeah, so it's good again for people to be aware that that's good advice.
And I might just come in
early.
Exactly. It just for a student that might be listening that isn't in a workplace or is doing a bit of agency and on the move, there are still ways we design assessment to support that student as well. It doesn't exclude someone that isn't in the workplace, but where it is happening, that would be our advice.
Okay, very good. Look, thank you very much, Carmel, and that was great to hear. And you gave a really good overview and an understanding of, all the modules, but also the study opportunities that are there, the flexibility as well for the students. So thank you very much for
welcome.
that. I am going to finish things up now and thank both Carmel and Leonard for their time and their insights into the programme. So it's the Masters in Quality and Safety in Healthcare and Social Care, and the Masters in Social Care and Social Justice that we talked about in detail. If anybody wants to find out any more information about any of these programmes, if you go to atu.ie/flexible, there's a little tile there that's about all the courses that we offer in the area of healthcare and social care. You will find them in there. And I'll just conclude by saying that anything that we talked about today as well, they are open for applications at the moment, and we are taking in applications for students to start in September 2023. But please do send in questions to us or contact the course coordinators if you have any details that you want to find out before you submit an application. But hopefully you found the session helpful. I definitely did. And I thank both the contributors, and hope you enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you very much.